High Dam Egypt was built on the banks of the Nile River, around which one of the largest artificial lakes in the world was formed, which is Lake Nasser, a huge lake with an area of more than 5,000 square kilometers and an average depth of 180 meters, equivalent to the height of a building consisting of 60 floors, to the point that it would have caused the sinking of more than 18 archaeological sites located near the dam. One of the most important of these sites is the Abu Simbel temple, which is about 3,000 years old. And in order to save this temple, it had to be moved from its place in one of the strangest and most complex transfers throughout contemporary history. The Temple of Abu Simbel was built during the reign of King Ramses II, one of the kings of the 19th dynasty in the period between 1264 BC and 1244 BC, and it took 20 years to build. And the temple was carved in the heart of the mountain, and the temple was built to be a monument to the king and his wife Queen Nefertiti, and this is to record the achievements of King Ramses II during his reign. He glorifies his victory at the Battle of Cadiz. It is famous from the outside for its 4 huge statues that adorn the temple, but one of them collapsed due to an ancient earthquake, and its remains are still present today. In the main hall of the temple there are 8 statues, 4 on the right and 4 on the left. Next to the main hall there are 2 halls in addition to side rooms for storing offerings. In the main hall we find the Holy of Holies room, and in this room we find 4 statues sitting next to each other, namely Li Ramses, Amun-Ra, Ra-Ora-Kati, and Ptah. Those who built the temple at this time built it on a very precise geometric and astronomical method, so that the sun's rays enter the temple on only 2 days a year, on October 21 and February 21, which are the day of the king's birth and the day of his accession to the throne. Ramses II built for Queen Nefertiti a special temple for her next to his temple, and the Queen Temple is a miniature of the temple of King Ramses. The high dam made the temple of Abu Simbel vulnerable to sinking, and the Egyptian government asked the United Nations to help it find a solution to save these ancient temples. Experts from more than 50 countries met to find a solution to the problem. One of the solutions proposed by experts is the work of a glass dome around the temple, to protect it from water, but there were fears of this idea because water could leak into the temple and the temple would collapse. Other solutions were proposed, such as moving the temple as a single block using cranes, or using a huge compound on which the temple floats, but these solutions were not viable and also had great risks, causing the temple to sink or destroy. Experts and engineers decided to agree on the idea of cutting the temple into small pieces. First, they photographed the details of the whole temple to be consulted after the temple was dismembered. They also built a temporary dam to control the water level at the work site. Engineers began to study how to cut the temple as cubes in a professional way, and cutting was not limited to statues only, but all parts of the temple, from statues, ceilings, inscriptions, columns, rooms and walls, but the top of the mountain was cut. All this cutting was done by hand and no electrical tools were used in the cutting. More than 2,000 Egyptian workers and engineers participated in this work. In the end, the temple was cut into about 1,500 pieces, with an average weight of 20 to 30 tons each, and each piece of them was numbered with a specific code for reference when assembling the pieces. The temple was moved 210 meters west of its original place, 65 meters above the ground. The temple was assembled using iron rods and adhesives, and the cutting places were restored using crumbs resulting from cutting. After the transfer, the coordinates of the temple changed in terms of the sun's rays perpendicular to it, so the sun entered the temple on October 22 and February 22, meaning that the coordinates changed by 1 day. Finally, the original temple was relocated on October 31, 1968, in a process that lasted about 4 years, at a cost of more than $300 million, and in 1979 the temple was accepted in its new location on the list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. In concluding this video, I would like to express my deep gratitude to everyone who watched this video and spent some time with us. We appreciate your support and interest in our content. We hope that the video added value to you and that you enjoyed it and benefited from it. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions for future videos, feel free to share them with us in the comments.